Good evening and welcome to the Psychic Coffee Shop. I'm Ace Knight. Of course, I'm with Techie Joe. How are you, darling?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you this evening?
Bubbly.
Feeling extra clean, are we?
Oh, yes. Yes, yes.
I mean, I'm
Oh,
looking the part as Mr. Clean.
you are. That is a lovely, striking resemblance. Alexa, add to my shopping list white overalls.
I added white overalls to your shopping list.
But anywho. So, do we want to explain first why we're late this evening? Like, we were
Yeah.
on time. Let me just say, everything was going beautifully according to a plan, and we should have been on air at precisely 8 p.m.
Yes, please explain why I'm in a bubbly mood.
Oh, I'll let you take it away.
All right. Here we go. Story time, explaining time, whatever you want to call this. So, in the house, we have everything divided up so that everyone is contributing in one way or another. And sometimes we pitch in when the other person that normally does it is overly busy.
Or we
Techie,
try to help others.
yes. Techie Joe being the excellent little help he is, because his job is major cleaning. Like if you need need the bathroom cleaned till it sparkles like new, let him do it. He'll be back
Uh,
in
well,
3 days.
well, technically, I'm the detail person.
Yeah,
Like, I will do heavy duty detail.
right,
Like, but the two of us both work heavily.
right. So Invisible takes care of dishes. Techie noticed that the Instapot was looking a little used.
Well, I'm assuming it's the last thing we made in it was looked like it needed some help.
Right.
So the power of Christ and Dawn power wash. I was trying to compel it clean
Uh huh. Yeah.
at levels that I probably could have cleaned up a Exxon Valdez oil spill with Don Power.
Right. So Invisible has this thing where he organizes the dishes before he washes them. Why, I do not know. He just does. It's his way of doing dishes. Fine. Apparently, he stuck the Instapot back in the Instapot and forgot it. Dawn Power Wash in it.
Yeah. So yeah, it fit neatly in the hole called the
Mm-hmm.
Instapot, where the liner goes. And then
Mm-hmm.
apparently at some point someone put the lid on it, and we called the kitchen clean. And flash forward
Forward. Ah,
to Asen made chicken broccoli rice casserole this evening, and it was
yes.
done perfectly. Perfectly, it was gorgeous. It is gorgeous. We could take pictures. It's gorgeous. Because we haven't thrown it out yet because we had to do an emergency runaway. But so he made this beautiful casserole, and I truly mean it's beautiful. And my first fork full of rice, honey, the rice tastes like soap.
Mm-hmm.
It's like maybe I'm having a moment. And so
Right.
he grabs a forkful of rice.
Yeah.
And we quickly piece together the preceding parts of this conversation
Mm-hmm.
and how this happened.
Right.
So we did an emergency run to McDonald's.
Yes. And a washing of milk of the mouth.
Yes, yes,
And I feel cheated.
we're reserving the right
Mm-hmm.
to run a commercial simply to go to the kitchen and get more milk.
Right. But I feel cheated. Okay, like I don't curse that much. I need to start cursing apparently more. Um, because, I've already had my mouth washed out with soap. I should be cursing a lot more.
Where's Brenda when you need her to come in and go, the fuck you just said?
I know, right?
Okay, you know?
She'll be here in a minute. She's probably, you know, trying to get dinner down, thinking that we go live in 5 minutes. And I'm like, no, we can go ahead and go live now.
We had to buy ourselves some time. We weren't going to make it by 8.
So anyway,
Like,
I'm sure there was no hope. You know, lovely McDonald's. Love them deeply. They've kept me fed for the few weeks, especially when it was the only thing I could eat. Yes, but they're not known for fast food.
Not this particular one.
No. Quality, yes. Fast, no.
They do good quality. They do good
Yes.
quality. But yeah, that location is not fast.
Right.
But it's like, this is the fastest idea we had.
It's now my go-to.
Well, because we could go to the quick McDonald's, like
Mhm.
the joys of like small local communities. We could go to the quick McDonald's,
Mhm.
but then our order's wrong. Like layers of wrong.
Right.
So it's like quick and, you know,
Yeah.
not what we ordered at all, or exactly what we ordered, exactly how we ordered it, cooked
Mhm.
to perfection.
Mhm.
What takes like 15 minutes minimum.
Minimum. And this is for double
Minimum.
cheeseburgers. Because
Mhm.
they cook fresh.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're not a holding facility.
Yeah, they don't pre-make anything.
Right.
Yeah.
So, it happened. Damn it, it happened. I'll have my broccoli cheese casserole another time.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah. And meanwhile, we'll be throwing out the punishment casserole. I mean,
Yes.
punishment rice. Because that's what it feels like. Because I was 100% certain until today that when I became an adult, I would never face getting my mouth washed out with soap again. And I was wrong. That's what I learned today.
Yeah, maybe it's good for you.
I mean,
You know what I keep running through my head is we had this discussion, me and him, about me doing clean eating. I really think he took that in the wrong direction.
oh, it was clean.
Uh-huh. All right, so let's start out with
And Chia should have been here to serve dinner.
Yeah.
I pronounce this dinner clean.
uh-huh.
Mhm.
So let's start about this power psychic.
All right. So yes. So from Business Insider, I use my psychic powers to help corporations make money. My best ideas have earned me more than $500,000. So Kate Thomas uses her powers to consult for businesses and individuals. She didn't initially find the work rewarding, but she's found success and meaning in her career. Thomas is no longer taking new clients and now shares free advice on social media. They note this is an as told to conversation with Kate Thomas, a philosopher, spiritual mentor, and practitioner of ritual magic. She has over 2 decades of experience consulting for businesses, governments, and high profile individuals.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, so here we get into the article. For as long as I can remember, I've had a different way of experiencing the world. I had a vague cultural awareness of clairvoyance, but I didn't realize what I was experiencing until I was 16 or 17. I'd mainly have prophetic dreams, but there came a point where I couldn't walk down the street without getting extra information about people. I'd know if they were struggling with their relationship or if their kidneys were inflamed. It was invasive, especially since I didn't have control over it. Over the years, I've learned to manage and establish boundaries around my intuition. So I thought psychics were underpaid cat ladies. The truth is that I didn't want to be a psychic. I frankly saw them as underpaid cat ladies who lived in the forests of Wales. I wanted to be a barrister. I was ambitious, and I've always been pretty motivated by respect, money, and success. Thanks to capitalism, I guess, I was forced to use my ability to make money. I started reading tarot cards for people so I could pay for university. I was good at it and built up a base of clients. Eventually, I moved to London and started practicing. But I hated it. It wasn't rewarding work. Everybody has the same issues, and certainly under colonial patriarchal capitalism, the same shit is going to come up most of the time. People are held back from success because of structural oppression. It was frustrating to advise people since only a small percentage were in a position to take action. I could offer comfort, but sometimes it felt a bit like I was rearranging the deck chairs of the Titanic. I realized, though, that this was a business and I was good at it. So I went on to do my PhD at Oxford in theology. I wanted to understand how Western philosophy defined intuition. I wanted to explore intuition as it pertained to the idea of gifts from God. So consulting for businesses was more rewarding than I expected. The poverty of student life pushed me to make money doing intuitive work. Many clients approached me and some started asking me to look at their businesses. I thought if I could look at life, why not look at a business and try to get the same information? So I did it and it worked. And I made an awful lot of money for people. My advice was so profitable that these clients started recommending me to their friends in other businesses and industries. I had entertainment agents coming to me, including people at big television networks, clients in fashion, and some in finance. I oversaw mergers and acquisitions. I worked with several hedge funds. Though initially reluctant to consult for businesses, the move helped me find more meaning in my work. By and large, the businesses I worked with are not good forces in the world. They're capitalist extractive machines. What I could do, though, was pivot the mindsets of the individuals I advised to bring positive changes. Sometimes that was as simple as adjusting the culture to benefit those who needed help. These days, I spend most of my time sharing my work for free on social media and working behind the scenes on projects that further liberation. I earn money by advising wealthy people like Hollywood celebrities, agents, producers, etc. I'm excited about art and creativity. I advise on scripts, plot lines, and the endings of television shows and movies. I work only based on referrals. I usually set up an introductory call with the client. If I'm working with a corporation, I need to be in contact with someone on the board or in the C-suite so I have energetic access to the decision-making process. I'm paid by results, so I need to know that the energy I'm putting in will be profitable for my client and myself. I only move forward if there's synergy. From then onwards, I have a call or an in-person meeting once a month. All of my client relationships include absolute access to me in all ways. My spiritual clients pay me a flat monthly fee ranging from a minimum of £4,000 to a maximum of £20,000. For businesses, I usually work on a minimum 6-month contract. I charge a minimum retainer fee of $2,000 per month, but my real income comes through a success fee. The exact fee is pre-negotiated and industry specific. A good idea might net me £100,000. A supremely good one, maybe £500,000.
Yes.
Okay. So I will let you start and see if you start on the same questions I kind of have here.
I don't have questions. This is a new way of doing business in the psychic industry.
Okay, because I and maybe I'm just stumbling over a part.
Okay.
That is neither here nor there.
Okay.
But she starts talking about the fact that, most of these clients are like not good, companies.
Right.
And that she uses her position basically to like pivot mindsets, change conditions, make them like more humanitarian, etc. I'm struggling to find that exact sentence, but basically that's what it broke down to. Is that how she interprets using her gifts? Or is that literally like, here's what you could do,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to tweak it
Mm-hmm.
to meet my own personal agendas and give you the tweaked version? So, like, I had $1 million idea,
Mm-hmm.
as in, this is what, like, Fortune 500 company ought to do,
Mm-hmm.
multi-million-dollar idea. I
Right.
tweaked it.
Mm-hmm.
Now it is a less profitable idea.
Right.
Or is it that's just what she sees as, I got the idea fully formed and how to do the best for everyone,
Right.
gave it to the client.
It's more like, all right, if you're looking at, they're having problems with retaining employees, and she picks up that their packages suck. And here's how they suck. This is why your business is failing.
Oh no, I can get that.
Then
But
she'll
it was
tweak
just-
it. Like she pushes that a little harder to change the culture and the mindset in the company, which is fine. This is like they hire people to do this. What I'm more looking at is this new business model for psychics being on the same retainer fee as business lawyers.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm looking at exactly what she said,
Uh-huh.
which quote was, by and large, the businesses I worked with are not good forces in the world. They're capitalist, extractive machines.
Mm-hmm.
What I could do, though,
Mm-hmm.
was pivot the mindsets of the individuals I advised to bring positive changes. Sometimes that was as simple as adjusting the culture to benefit those who needed help. Because it sounds like that's independent of her using her ability
Mm-hmm.
and tacking on to it. Sort of like if you were to have a moment where, like, you're doing a reading
Mm-hmm.
and David's sitting there going, the motherfucker is cheating.
Mm-hmm.
He cheating. He cheating all over town. Motherfucker be cheating.
Mm-hmm.
And you go, well, I just think you need to spend more time together. And then walk out of that and pick up the phone and be like, motherfucker, I got your number.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want her to find out, you gonna pay me.
Mm-hmm. No, it's not that way.
Okay.
That's not what she's saying there. What
Okay,
she's saying,
I mean, I was using a very screwed up way of explaining what I was
Right.
thinking I heard, but fundamentally.
right. Fundamentally, what she's doing is she's taking her information and tweaking it to even improve the company's culture, which enables like the company to profit more.
Okay. Well, it helps the people who work there, and it helps make
Right.
this less due company. I get that. I'm not
Right.
inherently opposed to it.
Mhm.
I'm just going, that's typically a hot button ethical issue.
It is. It is.
It's
But
because the client is the client.
right.
You don't, like, your ethics are very clear that you don't tweak a reading.
Right.
Like, it's all about the client. Whatever helps the client, even if, like, it were bad for someone else,
Mm-hmm.
not legal, but just, like, not good,
Mm-hmm.
you would still give them the same information.
Right. But this is psychic business analyzation.
Okay.
Okay. That's what she's doing is psychic business analyzation. Okay. How do you make the most profit out of a business? Easy. You keep your employees happy, you get them beneficials, and you keep the creativity flowing. They're paying people thousands of dollars to do this. But what if you had the inside scoop?
Okay, but what if the inside scoop is if you are a ruthless, heartless, callous corporation
Right.
and you do this in the most unethical ways possible,
Right.
like all big businesses have done,
Right.
you will make trillions of dollars.
Right.
Or you can do it this other way, you'll make a little bit less.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know I'm splitting hairs here. I'm
You're
just
splitting
wondering.
hairs, but you know, if it is a $1 million, like Fortune 500 business,
Mhm.
okay, and I'm looking at it doing this business analysis, and it's like, well, your HR sucks, so we need to improve that. Your benefit packages suck, so we need to improve that so that you aren't paying more money to train employees in your business than it's actually losing you, and you'll actually get more profit from this employee than you will that employee, because this one has the longevity, but you're going to have to up your package.
Okay. Okay, then I guess my next question is this becoming such a common, or has been maybe such a common part of the industry?
No,
That,
this
like,
is a new one.
well, because what I was going to say was, I know you've worked with people
Yeah, I work with
or
businesses
worked
all
with
the time.
companies, basically. And I thought it would be more focused on, like, look, we're trying to launch a project.
Right.
How do we make that project successful?
Right.
I didn't necessarily see that conversation going into, okay, before we get to that,
Well,
your benefit structure's fucked.
right.
Your so you need to clean up all this, and then yes, you can make a very successful killing in the market with this project. You need to do this.
Right. Because if you don't do this, you're not going to get it out on time. But this is not coming and looking at a single project. This is analyzing your whole business.
Mhm.
Okay. This is what she's getting paid to do, is to sit down and analyze every part of that business. From the culture to the benefit packages to who to hire and fire, who to put in projects, who to put into leadership. Like, you analyze the total business.
I just wonder how many of these businesses are fully implemented,
All
that
of
aren't just like sitting there looking at like the pieces
them. Mm-hmm.
that they're interested in. Like, what do we do to make this project successful?
Right.
How do we launch this? And then taking any other advice and being like, whatever.
Probably doubtful, because of the amount of money they are paying her, and she's getting a percent of the table. Like, they're not just paying her consulting fee. She's also getting revenue from the business, stake in the business.
Yeah.
They're going to probably implement most of what she recommends because she has a proven track record.
Okay. I mean, I'm not saying don't use your powers for good. I was just sitting here like, I didn't really, like, it still kind of kills me that we have to talk to businesses like this.
Yeah.
That it's like, are you people crazy?
Yeah.
Like, you treat these people like they're dumb cattle.
Uh-huh.
Like, any other animal, PETA would have already shown up and beat you to death.
Uh-huh.
Like, you treat any other animal like this,
Mm-hmm.
PETA will be on your doorstep.
Right. Well, it's like, okay, a paper mill factory. How do you make it more profitable?
Make more paper.
All right, so making more paper. Example, the thing you've got to do there is make more paper. And furthermore, sell more paper. So, what do you do?
Sell more
Well,
paper with unhappy salespeople.
you can't sell more paper with unhappy salespeople. Right.
Yeah, can't invent new paper product without being able to hire and retain decent people.
Right.
Who have good ideas.
Right.
No, I can follow that part. I find it insane that, like, what the hell are business schools doing?
They're teaching business of the 1980s.
I mean, because I'm sorry, my education comes out of a business school, and
Mhm.
I remember having arguments where it's like, you cannot do this to human beings.
Right.
Like, you cannot do this to human beings.
Right.
Like, I have a personal hatred of interactive voice response systems.
Right.
Stop using them.
Right.
Like, this is how you tick people off and lose them.
Mhm.
Very quickly. And it was funny. I remember back then having a professor that was like, yeah, I hate them too.
Mhm.
But on a cost analysis,
Mhm.
it's like, no.
Yeah.
Stop.
But at the same, but doing that same analysis, but from a psychic point of view.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like the same one I did it at, which is like, you don't know how much you just threw out the window when that customer hangs up the phone.
Right.
Like, you don't know what information you didn't get.
Right.
You don't know how, like, that might have helped your business.
Mhm.
Like, yeah, they're probably angry.
Yeah, but with this new specialty, it's very interesting because it's not coming in and going, okay, so I'm going to launch, Project AWC. Will it be successful? And it's like, well, if you launch it between June and July, it'll be successful. You're going to have to put a woman in power there. But there's these other things that are losing you money elsewhere. So, client hangs up, moves on. Got their answer. This isn't that. This is a full analyzation of the business, a psychic audit of the business.
Okay. That's kind of, that is a whole different area.
Yeah. And it's becoming very popular.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, like, are those? Well, you say it's becoming popular. Like, how? Because I'm assuming this isn't like a 15-minute phone call.
No.
I don't think you go through, like, say, Xerox
Right.
in like 15 minutes and be like, okay, this is what's going on.
Right. No. This is on retainer. This is being part of meetings, being in discussions, being part of the decision making process. The way it looks like she's got her system is she meets with them once a month. Yeah.
Okay.
Either face to face or virtual meetings. So I would say that's probably a very long, detailed meeting.
I would say so. I'd say that's not.
Right.
You don't just jump on network and be like, hi,
Right.
let me select one of y'all at random.
They have.
I'm just saying, though. I mean,
Yeah.
that's got to be a little harder to do as a network.
Right.
Okay.
And a lot of her private clients are like, yeah, big deal. Sorry, I hate when they brag about that.
What you mean?
Hollywood celebrities, Asians, producers, advise on
Oh, yeah,
scripts.
Well, at least she's not name dropping.
Thank the goddess.
I mean, Sam.
Right.
Oh, but hey, Brenda, glad you could join us. So you're gonna want to rewind and watch the opening.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'll be fun.
All right, let's go see what astrologers told everybody. Went, oh fuck, we're right, or they're right.
Oh, okay. Not sure which one you want.
Survey pinpoints the richest zodiac signs. Their rankings are explained by an astrologer.
All right. So whether you're familiar with your whole astrological birth chart or just know your sun sign, you surely know certain key characteristics associated with your personal astrology. You may have even wondered if your zodiac sign is destined for richness and financial greatness. For example, if you're a Gemini ruled by the messenger planet Mercury, you're undoubtedly a super communicator. Born when the sun was in a fixed fire sign, Leo, ruled by the confident sun. You adore soaking up the spotlight. But what does your natal astrology have to say about your potential for achieving a high net worth? To learn the zodiac signs most likely to be rich, a new survey conducted by online gambling company JeffBet may have all the answers. Using Forbes' richest world billionaires list, JeffBet identified the birthdays and sun signs of the world's richest people. They considered how many times each zodiac sign appeared on this list, then created a ranking of the signs from highest to lowest net worth, based on each sign's collective average net worth. Here are the richest zodiac signs, according to JeffBet, alongside my take as a professional astrologer. This is from the author of the article. So what are the richest zodiac signs? Taurus comes in as number 1. People born when the sun was moving through stability-seeking fixed Earth sign Taurus, approximately April 20th to May 20th, appeared to have the highest average net worth according to the JeffBet survey findings. The Taurians on the list had an average net worth of $6.35 billion, and collectively their net worth added up to approximately $1.2 trillion. The second richest sun sign was the imaginative mutable water sign Pisces, which spans from approximately February 19th to March 20th. There were 196 of them on the Forbes list, and the average net worth of people born under the sign of the fish was $6.06 billion. Combined total net worth of all Pisceans on the list, $1.18 trillion. And coming in third was another water sign, Cancer, the security conscious cardinal water sign, which the sun moves through from approximately June 22nd to July 22nd. Cancerian billionaires had an average net worth of $5.88 billion and a total net worth of approximately $1.11 trillion. The fourth and fifth spots were snagged by Aries, the dynamic cardinal fire sign, and Libra, the balance-loving cardinal air sign. So
number 6 is Leo with a average net worth of $5.5 billion. Virgos come in number 7th with 5.26 billion. Scorpios 5.156. Geminis 5.15. Aquarians only at 4 billion. Sagittarians at 4.5. Closer, Sagittarians are closer to 4 billion, and Capricorns, your psychopaths, are at 3 billion.
Yeah, and as an average net worth,
You're right.
Like, this isn't a big, I think you're pretty happy.
Yeah.
At $3 billion.
Right.
I don't think you get much happier at $6.3 billion.
Right.
Well, because there's that whole theory that as you make money, there comes a point that it's kind of diminishing returns.
Right.
That, how much more money, you're just making money for the sake of money. You can't. What would you buy with $6 billion that you couldn't really have at 3?
Right.
And how much do you want that?
Right.
So, yeah.
It's just interesting that it lines up so well.
I don't think it really does all that much. I'm sure it lines up really well with, I'm not arguing that. I'm just going, I think this was a lot of work.
Yeah.
To, talk about a minor differential.
Well, it is, but it's a larger differential because they were only looking at a select group of billionaires.
Mm-hmm.
What's interesting is the survey put all the results together, and the astrologer's like, it's going to line up this way, and it was correct.
Oh wow.
You know,
Okay, so they had they're like before they gave it to the astrologer's like, I can tell you what that ranking's gonna be.
uh-huh,
Like we'll put it in an envelope. You can check me after,
right,
but it's gonna be Taurus, Pisces, Cancer, Aries, Libra, Leo, Virgo, Scorpio, Gemini, Aquarius, Sagittarius, Capricorn.
right,
Like, gonna tell you which order it's gonna be.
right. Like we could take a 12 average people. Well, no, let's go higher. Let's go 300 average people, and they will still break down in the same measures.
So the three richest people in any room are going to be a Taurus, a Pisces, and a Cancer.
Right,
Most likely.
most likely,
Okay.
or directly connected to the other.
Okay.
Okay, meaning like if we're looking at couples because they have shared wealth, Capricorns, you need to go and snag you a Pisces. So it's interesting. And the reason that I kind of pointed this towards business is astrology and psychics are moving into the business platforms, in the business world, in the business consultings.
I mean, it's getting a lot more businessy, definitely.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And Yahoo's killing it. Like they're bringing the stories out left, right, and center.
Yahoo's all about it.
Right.
Of course, they were like way back when, like astrology, your horoscope. They were one of the first ones to really like snap up on that. It was like
Right.
Yahoo and AOL both were like really big on it.
Right. Very much so.
Yeah.
All right. So we got a parade of planets getting ready to hit. Brace for impact.
Oh yeah. So here's how the parade of planets will affect you based on your zodiac sign. The 6-planet alignment is going to be an intense astrological event, according to astrologer Lisa Stardust. So the planets are shifting, and so could your mood, as a rare 6-planet alignment takes place this month. Dubbed the Parade of Planets, Mercury, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune are set to line up in the sky starting on June 3rd and will be visible for 2 weeks. As the planets play a big role in astrology, as well as our birth charts, the celestial lineup is bound to affect our mood in a big way. Astrologer and best-selling author Lisa Stardust tells people that the event is going to be intense as expansive planet Jupiter is in Gemini. Communicator Mercury will have just moved into Gemini. Action planet Mars will be in Aries. Rebellious Uranus is in Taurus. Elusive Neptune is in Pisces. And authoritative Saturn is in Pisces. Putting it all together, the 6 planets might feel as though we are in a rush to make changes in our lives, but the reality is that we should contemplate and think about the best strategy for us to make moves. Stardust says, we'll overthink and overanalyze aspects of our lives, which is why finding a relaxing outlet is key. Stardust also points out that the moon will be in Taurus and the sun will be in Gemini, which means we'll be impatient and want to make things happen, though the Taurus moon will help us ground our emotions. As Mercury enters Gemini, it will allow us to clearly communicate and access information. Meanwhile, Stardust says that later in the day, the sun will connect with the lunar nodes of fate, making it a viral day for opening one's mind to new ideas that can evolve, shift, and shape our perspectives.
All right, so
right.
This alignment happened yesterday. It's going to be affecting us for 2 weeks. I would look for an alignment 6 months out because it'll do it again in another placement. But here we go. What's happening in Aries?
All right. So with Aries, as Mercury in Gemini opens the door for communication, Stardust says that Aries signs will be more apt to discuss financial planning with those you trust, noting that all of your secret ways in which you want to attain monetary success will be discussed with an advisor or a friend who can help you achieve them. Stardust advises that you to let your goals be known in order to elevate your status. So for Taurus, don't overthink things, Taurus. Though Stardust says you may feel as though you're disconnecting with some of your closest allies, you shouldn't find ways to explain their behavior. Instead, you should take a needed break from your friend group and spend time with others. And for Gemini, you got this, Gemini. As your professional goals take flight, Stardust notes that you may feel you have imposter syndrome and aren't ready for that level of success. However, the key to your achievements is believing in yourself and all that you do. For Cancer, set your calendar to out of office. Cancer, you need a break from the mundane so you can possibly find yourself planning your next big adventure as you narrow down your travel options. Stardust suggests look at places that bring excitement and fun your way, maximizing your quality time with friends and family. For Leo, stay the course, Leo, though you may find yourself dealing with work obstacles around this time. Stardust says you should find solace and know that just because you didn't get the promotion or pay raise on your timeline, it doesn't mean it isn't happening, noting that patience is key. Virgo, prepare for... To what?
Leos have terrible patience.
Well, there's that. So Virgo, prepare for some love drama, as Stardust says relationships will be more confusing than ever during this time. Allow yourself time to think about what you want from them and how to attain them. Then you will be able to make the decisions you need and how you wish to move forward, Stardust suggests. For Libra, as the Libra sign is represented by the scales, this time will be all about creating balance in your life. Notably, Stardust says it's important for you to create boundaries with others, not only for yourself, but for them. Stardust advises that you make sure you're giving what you're getting from others in order to have a balanced partnership. And Scorpio, it's a time for passionate romance, but don't forget to address your inner feelings, Scorpio. If you aren't being treated the way you think you should be, then you should definitely speak your mind, Stardust says, but do so in a nice way in order to resolve the issue and to move forward. For Sagittarius, does your home life feel upside down right now, Sagittarius? During this time period, Stardust says you may be feeling like you don't have a clear foundation in order to achieve stability. With that in mind, Stardust says it's pivotal for you to find structure in your daily routine and set a schedule to get you back on the right track. For Capricorn, as a hardworking Capricorn, you're inclined to give your all at work, but make sure you're not spreading yourself too thin. Stardust notes that during this time, you may be finding it difficult to connect with your colleagues, and as a result, you're overextending yourself to meet their needs and to get their stamp of approval. However, Stardust points out that anyone that makes you work hard for the relationship isn't worth the energy, adding that you may find the less you give, the more you'll get from your coworkers. All right, Aquarius, you might feel a creative spark during this time, Aquarius. Stardust says if there is an artistic endeavor that you've been wanting to take on, now is the time to do so. As your creative sentiments are at a high, it will allow you to dive deep in your innate talents. And finally, for Pisces, put some family time on the calendar. If you've been craving one-on-one time with your loved ones, Stardust suggests that you reach out now instead of waiting for them to make their first move. All right, now I have a question.
Okay.
I held my question to the end.
Okay.
This is one of those events that makes me really want to ask the question. So what about people who are currently expecting and or giving birth that are going to have a June 3rd, 2024 to roughly June 17th, 2024 baby? Like what's this mean for those kids?
Well, those kids are going to be hitting all of this energy at the same time. They're going to have this alignment affecting their chart for the rest of their life.
That's what I'm saying. What about them?
they're going to have a very aligned chart. So their life is going to be a lot of playfulness, a lot of like this is when our artists are born, this is when our creatives are born. With the houses being in a lot of ruling houses, they're going to have very stronger personalities.
Okay.
Okay, and they're going to be Geminis, which means they're going to have shifting careers. This is the ones that are like lawyers and doctors at the same time.
So now you were also saying that probably about 6 months down the line, there'd be another alignment.
The same alignment will happen. It's a reflective pattern.
Okay. And so what about those kids? Are those going to be like everything blows up in their face?
Uh-huh.
Like everything's hard, everything's a struggle.
Yes.
All right. So if you're pregnant, now's a good time to have the baby.
Uh-huh.
But in 6 months, you're really going to want to keep those knees together. Hold them tight. Like keep that kid in for like 2 weeks.
Yeah. Watch those inducements because they want to induce all the time.
So we'll be back with more about that at some point.
Right.
Like I feel that's worth warning people about. Is that
you're about to have well, see, this is why like astrology, especially in India, when you're getting ready to have a baby, or you're starting to plan for children, they start literally checking and like planning the chart out to when that baby should be born.
I mean, I'd say it a little bit in jest because babies are born when babies are born, and that's just there's no amount of holding your knees together that's going to help that baby stay in.
And you got to realize that spirit already chose this path.
Yep. Like, this is the choice. Like, just know this is going to be a fun one.
Right.
So, yeah. Alrighty. So, a bunch of different fun astrological news. Right. Brenda says, I wonder if they induce if it's a more favorable chart.
Yes.
Should one do that?
It's happening.
Like, I mean, that kind of sounds like well, yeah, but that sounds like a situation that, like, I mean, maybe it doesn't make a huge difference per se. But I would think that if you were destined to be born on a date, and you are literally induced into the world,
right?
Aren't you going to go through a long, annoying life of like, astrology doesn't work for me? Like if they were very different dates. Like if you were induced because there was a like weird alignment of planets like this.
Right.
And so your parents are going to raise you like you're supposed to be this great leader of creativity and music and arts and all of this. Instead, you were supposed to be born like, 2 weeks later.
Right. Rarity. What normally happens is they will plan for the birth. They'll actually have like this range is when you want to get pregnant so that you have this child.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I was just curious if there were though people that were like, like if you are 38 weeks at this point, are there going to be people that are like, I want my inducement?
Yep.
Induce me now.
There are people right now drinking wine and eating that Italian bacon, hoping to give birth.
Oh wow. Oh, good grief. But does that, I mean, it sounds like if the child is, I'm getting into the esoteric concept here.
Okay.
Is if the child has already pre-chosen.
All of that is pre-chosen with it.
The inducement as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Like one is like the stream of all right, let's go full fucking esoteric gold. Get out your donut glaze, Joe. All of that would have already been planned out on the other side, and it'd be like, you're going to get an inducement, you're going to do labor for 38 hours, and then the baby will be born. All right, so these chosen psychic abilities, they'll be born with a veil. Like everything is pre-thought out.
Oh. Like, I was just curious how that works out. Or if it worked the other way, that no, this child was supposed to be like born on like June 20th.
Right.
Like that's when they were supposed to have been born. You induced them early.
Uh-huh.
And you got your magical alignment of planets, which yay.
Right.
But the reality of that child is they're going to be running around with that like June 20th.
Uh-huh.
Like chart.
Right.
Through their life being told, oh, you're supposed to be a great musician. They're like, fuck, I'm barely a decent accountant.
Well,
you know what I mean? Like,
right. But see, here's the thing, and this is that the debatable astrology theology there is, and women have had this happen. They go to induce and it doesn't happen. They go to induce and it doesn't happen, or they have these very long I was in labor for 3 days with you. Yeah, because you had to reach the point when the soul was ready to enter the body. Because the soul enters on the first breath.
Okay. Which sets the natal chart, which sets.
Yeah.
I was just curious.
Until that point, it's working. When the child is still in the mother, that body is being affected by the gravitational pulls of the mother's birth chart. And I think it's the third or fourth house you can actually see when, by the degree, you will have children.
Okay. So it starts becoming a thing of like, these are great dates not to book a flight.
Yes.
Like, I know your doctor said you're due on this day. Do not book flight, like air travel. Don't
Right.
even try. Don't even try.
Right.
Yeah, you have 3 more weeks. That's cute. I'm going to tell you right now, you get on that airplane, there's going to be an emergency air delivery.
Exactly. Example, you have a early Venus in your third or fourth house. Because I look at sometimes the houses differently. It depends on which system I'm using. And this is a problem when you become too over degreed. So it's the fourth house in standard or tropical astrology. So let's say you've got an early Venus in your fourth house. Okay. So that means that there's going to be a Piscean baby, early birth. Not happening right now. Gemini's more like mid-chart, and normally a Mercury. So, okay, so we're going to have right now would be a Gemini baby. The mother's chart should be about very early. Yeah, we're still early. Very early into the fourth house. And it's like, oh, you're having a Gemini baby, it's going to have this planetary alignment. But up until that child takes breath, that fetus's body is being affected by this gravitational pull that was born with the mother, who may be, I don't know, a Libra or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah. But no, there are people that'll sit down and go, okay, so you have a planet at 26 degrees and it's squared and this, so you will want to get pregnant. If you wanted to get pregnant during this alignment, then you needed to be impregnated 9 months ago. Preferably during that eclipse that happened so that you have both those synergetic energies occurring.
Okay.
Okay?
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Was just curious.
Okay. Yeah,
All
it's
right.
all fun.
It is.
It is. All right. So it's time to figure something out, guys. We need to figure out if he's an asshole this week.
Yes. Am I the asshole for getting my disappointed son a Slurpee? My 8-year-old son had a class trip yesterday. He was very excited in the days leading up to the trip, mainly because of a specific attraction he was hoping to see. Unfortunately, the attraction is closed for renovations for the next couple of months, so he didn't get to see it. Though there were other things he liked and enjoyed, he was still super disappointed. When he got home, I asked him how the trip was, and he told me how disappointed he was that the thing he was most looking forward to wasn't available. I felt sorry for him. That sucks. And it was a nice day, and we lived 3 blocks away from a 7-Eleven, so I offered to take him for a Slurpee, and he agreed. While it didn't make up for everything, it made his day a little bit better, and I was happy I could do that with such a simple little gesture. Well, my husband thinks I was wrong because kids need to learn how to manage disappointment, and I didn't give him that chance. I would agree if, say, I had taken him to Target and bought $100 worth of toys, or, say, called the place and reamed them out for being disappointing, but it's just a Slurpee. It costs a little over $1 and is close to home. So, not some big production. It's in no way proportional to the disappointment. It was just a small thing to uplift his day a little. My husband argues that in the real world, you just have to suck it up when disappointed, but I said that's not entirely true. Adults in the real world absolutely treat themselves to minor things when they have a rough day. It wouldn't be an excuse to run up the credit card, but it is not crazy or unusual to get oneself a Slurpee or a chocolate bar on a tough day. Anyway, just wondering who's right here. Am I the asshole? And did I handle the situation badly by getting my son a small treat because he was disappointed?
Now you're not an asshole. Your husband, however, may be.
Yeah, I'm
He's
thinking the
8.
husband issues. Like, who hurt you?
Right.
Like, who hurt you?
Right.
I think this is more than reasonable. Like, it's not a big expense. It wasn't a big production to go get it. Like, I totally agree with OP. I read that and I'm like, who hurt you?
Yeah.
Like, oh my God.
Right.
Like, no, you don't become an alcoholic because you had a bad day. You don't spend thousands of dollars because, well, that wasn't what I expected.
Right.
But, stopping getting a little thing is
Right.
just like, okay, I'm happier.
Right.
Like, for $2, $3, $4, $5,
Right.
I think that's reasonable.
And you're teaching him coping skills.
Yeah, I think that's how you will, like, that's the
Right.
lesson you should learn about disappointment.
Right.
And then hence why I'm kind of like, who hurt you?
Right.
Like, what are you doing?
Messing up. That's what he's doing.
Like, yeah, all right. So Brenda says, yes, we all need to learn to handle disappointment, but it was a friggin' Slurpee. We all buy ourselves a treat sometimes when upset, disappointed.
Right.
Starbucks would go broke if people didn't treat themselves.
Well, I don't know. Somebody might be able to keep them bankrolling at least for a little while.
It's like today. Like, okay, so if we go back to the earlier commentary of why we were late, which Brenda still has to watch, I only wanted one thing to make up for that, and I still didn't get it. So guess what we're doing after the show?
Going for milkshakes?
Uh-huh. Because
Okay.
all I wanted was like, well, while you're at McDonald's,
Uh-huh.
I would appreciate a strawberry milkshake.
Yes.
And I still didn't get it. I'm not going to kill people.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, but no, I still want I want my milkshake.
I want a double chocolate one.
There you go. So we
Exactly.
will make that happen.
Yes. I deserve
All right.
poisoning.
Oh, Brenda's is going for more dishwashing liquid.
No, 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 no,
Oh,
no, 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 no. I don't like this dishwashing liquid to begin with in my house. It may not come back after we run out of the pre-bought supply we have.
oh, come on now. I like it. It's useful. It's really flippin' useful.
Uh huh. Anyhow,
Well, except for when this happens. This is horrible.
yes.
I still taste it. Just FYI.
Me too. FYI.
All
It
right.
works in Safeguard.
So pull up.
Yeah. The poll is up. Feel free to vote. Of course, you have the
Am I
option
the
of
asshole?
yes,
Am I
he's
not
yes.
the asshole?
Right. Is everyone
Everyone
shitty?
shitty here.
Or damn, you're a dill pickle.
I know, right?
All right. So here we go into relationship advice. This one should be interesting.
Yes. So cannot figure out what to do about attending my sister's wedding. Hello, everyone. Long story, very short. My committed partner, 46 female, and I, 41 male, have been together nearly 15 years and have a 4-year-old daughter together. She never got along with my family, and over a decade or so of various conflicts, this caused a splintering and distancing between me and my family of origin. I have loose contact, mainly Grey Rock, although I did up till now feel like my relationship with my sister, 38 female, was a bit better. I've been talking to my sister and was aware of her wedding coming up. She expressed in person how she would love my partner and daughter to be at the wedding, but left it open at that time. During a call with my parents, 69 female, 73 male, who have not met my daughter, months ago they made a comment that we should meet up sooner than the wedding, as it wouldn't be appropriate for the first time they meet their granddaughter to be at the wedding. That meetup obviously didn't happen. My mom is a narcissist, I am the scapegoat, and my sister the golden child. As an aside, my parents initially disapproved of her choice of partner as well, and before their engagement, actually called his ex wife without the knowledge of my sister to get her side of the story. Anyway, about 6 weeks before the wedding date, my sister asked me for my secondary address. I work hybrid and have an address in San Francisco away from my family in San Diego. She sends an invitation there, only addressed to me, but with a return card that does have a number of guests blank on it, where I could, in theory, enter additional guests. In addition, this is clearly a second round invitation coming this late, and recently overhearing that 92 guests have RSVP'd only a few days after I received my invitation. The ambiguity kills me. She would have mentioned at some point, hey, I really want you all to come, but asking for the address where my partner wouldn't receive the invitation and addressing it only to me seems to me to be clear enough that she would prefer my partner not come. And if that's the case, I will not come. I have in the past left her at home to attend family function, which she was explicitly not invited to, and it was a disaster for my relationship. I just know that they will use that number of guests option as a way to gaslight me into thinking she actually was invited, and I'm a horrible person for missing my sister's wedding. At this point, I don't feel good about it. I feel nothing but anxiety when I am around my mom, and I feel like my sister will always cave to my mom's desires and will be more or less unable to think for herself. That being said, not going to this wedding may be the nail in the coffin of my contact with my family of origin. Anyway, I welcome all thoughts. Oh, so too long didn't read. I am unsure how to interpret the potentially manipulative meaning behind my sister's choices and how she invited me to her wedding.
Right. Buy her a nice wedding gift. Stay home.
Yeah, well, I don't even know about the nice wedding gift.
I would send her a nice wedding gift and say, sorry, that date conflicts.
I mean, based on like what I do know about weddings, I think there's like a third possibility here,
Mm-hmm.
or a second possibility maybe. However it numbers out, but is that I think your sister like truly, honestly, sincerely said what she thought and felt.
Right.
I think then it got kicked over to your parents, and I'd say your mother
Mm-hmm.
is probably the one who sent the invites.
Right.
Like she paid for them, she created the mailing list, she did all
Right.
the things. So there's a possibility she didn't have, well, until your sister got it. And maybe that's why she asked for it, was so your mother wouldn't have your immediate address. I don't know that it's necessarily as deeply, like, I think your mother's up to something, and I think you already know that and should already believe that.
Right.
This is kind of the ugliness of these situations, is every bit of me doesn't want to take it out on the sister on her wedding.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, this isn't, like, she's just as wrapped up and screwed up in this as you
Right.
are. Because fundamentally, she's not the problem.
Right.
Your mother is. Your parents are. But trying to figure out how to navigate that, I honestly think that maybe in the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
I have to go all the way back and be like, the fact that you thought you were going to agree to this,
Yeah.
I really have to question, why did you think you wanted to do this? Like, you knew your parents were going to be there. I would make the natural assumption your mother's going to be involved in the wedding planning.
Right.
So she's going to know, which is kind of clear, because then she follows up like, well, it would be inappropriate for me to meet my granddaughter at the wedding.
Right.
You know, and then you've, of course, been like, yeah, you're not meeting your granddaughter at all if I can help it.
Exactly. What I don't understand is why they have not cut contact.
Yeah. That's sometimes harder to do than it is to say.
Right.
I mean, because there's often this draw, this pull, this you should.
Right.
That maybe it can get better. That you don't want to like throw away your sister. You don't. You know, some family is better than no family, even if that some family is a real pain in your ass.
Right. I don't know. Like, point blank, I just buy her a very nice wedding gift and leave it alone.
I think this is where you call your sister and go, I'd like to be there.
Right.
And I think I overly committed myself to being there.
Right.
Because I want to be there.
Right.
But this isn't going to end.
Right.
Like, you know how our mother is. You know where this is going to go.
Right. I'm not doing that.
And I can't do it. I don't want to put myself through that. I don't want to put my daughter through that. I don't want to put my wife through it.
Right.
Like, I think you have to have this conversation.
Right.
And then, yeah, I think you have to go no contact with your parents.
Right.
Like,
Right.
I think at this point, if this is what you're having to deal with over a flipping wedding,
Right.
You're well past no contact.
Right. And that's when you gotta just go, we're not doing this. You know, I'm
Like,
not
I
going
can't
to this wedding and have to put up with the bereavement and the behavior out of the parents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, alrighty.
Alrighty. Now, I've gotten lost in another Reddit, and we're not going to read it on this show, but if you are a Redditor, go check out In the Valley. It is it started out in I was checking it out for the show.
Yeah.
for Are You an Asshole? And it's caught my attention. And he's actually created his own subreddit to finish the story.
Oh, very nice. I'll have to go check out the subreddit on that.
Yep.
Like, you sent me the original with all the comments, and it is a whole, like, it is a whole lot going on.
Yeah. So there's the link to that. In other news, I about fell off the treadmill today.
Yeah. You did. You did. You had a very exciting treadmill time.
I did, because there was a notification that popped up that said verify you're 18 so that you can go live. I went, what? Huh? So I'm thinking Thursday I'm going to go live over on TikTok and just do an hour of Q&A tarot readings and chatting. We will see. So let's go and check out the poll. Oop, we're all in agreement.
Not the asshole.
You are not the asshole. Yes.
Yay.
Okay. Now, baristas, tomorrow evening we do have a barista chat.
Yep, we
So
will
be
be
watching for that post. It is at 8 p.m. Yep. Other than that, I will see you on Friday for Mountain Bears and over on TikTok, of course.
Oh, yes. Well, of course, we want to thank Beverly Walker, Mika G, Kathy, Mary Winfield, Brenda, Joan Owen, Shannon C, Shannon D, Lady Gwendolyn, Charles Shaw, Tracy Ban, Caitlin Bell, and Devin. If you'd like to learn more about us, the show, or how you too can become a Patreon sponsor and receive all the wonderful benefits our baristas receive, please visit us at pcspnetwork.com.
Yes, and you guys have an amazing day, y'all. Bye.
Bye.